I want to welcome back to the program the founder and chairman of Black Americans for a Better Future. His name is Raynard Jackson. Mr. Jackson, thanks so much for joining us again, sir.
Paul, always good to be talking to folks in God's country.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Hey, so real quick, refresh our memory. Black Americans for a Better Future. What are you trying to accomplish with this organization?
Well, our goal is to get more blacks involved in the conservative movement and the Republican Party, and we focus strictly on the black entrepreneur because that's the low-hanging fruit as well as that's the gateway into the black community.
Now, low-hanging fruit. Why? Because is it because somebody who's an entrepreneur and successful understands how the market works and wants to keep more of their own money?
Well, yeah, not only that, but remember, these are the guys that's creating the jobs in the local community, and so they're the ones that stay on top of issues like education and understand that our public school systems are not being successful in educating our kids. Therefore, they're some of the biggest proponents of school choice and vouchers because they're the ones that have to remediate these kids in order for them to hire folks, in order for them to continue to grow their firm. So they are knee-deep involved in a lot of local policies that are conservative, and no one reaches out to them.
Wow. That's exactly right. Yeah, and I hear that from business owners a lot. We have a public school system that, essentially educates kids for 13 years, and then you have business owners who are trying to hire, and they're having trouble finding, good employees sometimes.
Yeah. And also, Paul, let me digress a quick second. In your intro into this segment, you were talking about the issue of vaping. I'm confused as heck with what's going on, and let me tell you why. How do we tell these kids not to vape, but yet we tell them, hey, we want to legalize marijuana all over the place? I mean, I'm confused as hell.
That's a really good point. That's definitely a contradiction there. Definitely a double standard. Okay, so I'm also curious. So, as somebody who is trying to, recruit the black entrepreneur, show them that they can, the Republican Party has a place for them. What do you make of some of these Democrat candidates and what they're saying, and what is the mood out there with what the Democrat Party is offering right now?
Oh, Paul, let me tell you something. I talk to my black Democrat friends all over the country every day. They are offended. They are insulted that these Democrat candidates go into the black community and they're talking about free, race. Can you believe in 2019, Paul, the Democrats are relitigating civil rights and racial issues from the 60s? Can you believe that's what they're going into the black community? And a lot of blacks are offended as heck because they're like, don't come into to us and our group talking about criminal justice reform. I've never been to jail. I don't have family members in jail. You're talking about, at best, Paul, under the First Step Act, 1.5 million people being affected by that legislation. What about the other 29 million black folks? And so a lot of blacks are finding the campaign issues, the rhetoric, the conversation they're having with the black community offensive as heck.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. And then let's talk about Joe Biden for a second. I mean, he appears to continue to do well in the polls, even though he has gaffe after gaffe after gaffe. On Monday, we were playing the video of him talking about this legendary, criminal. His name is Corn Pop. What do you think about Corn Pop?
I've been getting a lot of media calls about that issue, Paul. Let me tell you, so as I've told you before, I've been black most of my life. And I don't know one black person with the moniker of Corn Pop in my life. And so I'm wondering if this guy even exists.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people are. But, boy, he tells that story with rambling conviction. That's what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And again, but the other thing is, Paul, with that Corn Pop story, Now, you down in God's country probably are a lot smarter than I am, but I'm still trying to figure out what the point of the story was. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a great point. And my producer in the other room, Joe, he's shaking his head like, yeah, exactly. Like what? And I don't. He's talking about that he used to be a lifeguard at a public pool. I don't know what the point was. That he's a tough guy or something.
I don't know, or blacks shouldn't wear the dunk in their hair like they did back in the 60s.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like Biden just filled out racial issues in a vacuum, and there's no storyline, there's no theme, there's no point to it, and he's just rambling out there.
Yeah, that's a good point, and maybe that's because because he's older, a little bit more senile. He maybe used to do that with a little bit more tact in his younger days, but maybe it kind of exposes this disingenuous sympathy that he had for the black community all along, whereas just gets very disrespectful. Where if you just say these key buzzwords, he thinks that the black community, will just automatically be on the Democrat Party side, which has been the case for a very long time until recently.
Well, let me interpret what, Paul, you are inartfully trying to say, me being the guru of communication.
Okay.
What you're saying is Joe Biden is trying too hard. He's not being natural. It's not being authentic. Juxtapose him, say, with someone like my buddy, former Congressman Jack Kemp, who big-time Republican conservative. When he went into the black community, he went in there dropping names because he, as he often joked publicly, he took more showers with blacks than most black folks because he played in the NFL. And so when Jack Kemp would go into the black community, he would sit up there and start calling out people in the audience because he spent 20 years working with some local housing advocate or some local rape crisis counselor because he spent time in the community and knew these people by name and knew their stories.
I want to, by the way, we're talking with Raynard Jackson. He's the founder and chairman of the Black Americans for a Better Future. They're focusing on black entrepreneurs, trying to get them involved in the Republican Party. I'd like to talk a little bit about how the black community, in your opinion, they feel about the economy right now, the record low black unemployment rate. And when the president back during the 2016 campaign was asking for the black vote, and he said, what have you got to lose? A lot of people said, well, that's a racist statement. But no, he was essentially saying, the community basically has been voting one way, for a long time, and look where you are. Maybe try something different. What are their thoughts right now on the economy and President Trump?
Well, listen, you can't argue with the numbers, Paul. The unemployment rate is absolutely the lowest in the history of the country. The job participation rate, things like that. Where I think the administration needs to do a better job is let's put some bone, let's put some meat on the statistics, because as you know, Paul, being in God's country, Republicans and conservatives are great at quoting you statistics and economic data. What we need to do now is put some meat and put life into these statistics and create a story, a narrative that actually moves people, not only in the black community, but move the white, suburban, independent, middle-class voters who the president is having trouble with electorally. So if we can paint a story about what he's done relative to the black community and put life into those statistics, then you start moving the vote.
That's exactly right. We're talking about is a narrative, which the left is really, really good at, at painting a narrative and invoking emotion. And yeah, I agree. I mean, that you say, a lot of people, just want to win on the cold hard facts, but you do have to craft it for people. I mean, I think 2016 proved that as well. So anyway. Raynard Jackson, is there a place people can go if they want to know more about what the Black Americans for a Better Future are doing?
Well, they can talk to Paul Harrell, that's for sure. He's our press secretary down there in God's country.
Okay.
But no, they can go to our website, BAFBF, Black Americans for a Better Future .org, or Google my name, Raynard Jackson. All our social media pop up, emails and things like that. And Paul, we would love to hear from any of your listeners down there from God's country.
All righty. Well, hey, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you, my friend.
All righty.